Hi, this is Phil from Havoc Shield, and today we're here to talk about the 7 crucial questions for evaluating a managed service provider or managed IT provider. The first thing to think about is that you'll be interacting with this group on a regular basis. Anything from when a printer isn't working right to your network connection to a decision about what type of additional hardware to order for your team. So, a good question to start out by asking is, what is your ticketing system like? Some managed service providers will have you fill out a web form that will automatically issue you a ticket number. Others have a custom app that sits on your desktop that allows you to create new tickets. Others might prefer that you call in to talk with someone personally or leave a message about the issue that you're having. But whatever the case, you really want to understand what their approach to ticketing is like when you have an issue that you need them to address. Second, you should ask how often they would plan to meet to discuss IT strategy. On a day-to-day basis, there's all kinds of issues that they'll help handle for you, but you need to know that every few months or every few weeks, you'll pop out to discuss issues at a strategic level, to think about things like the upgrade cycle for the equipment that your company has, or to talk through new emerging trends in software or cloud, things that require more than just a tactical handling of the tickets that have been filed by your team that day. Don't forget to ask how their fees are structured, and I know you want to forget that. It's becoming increasingly common for managed service providers to have a fixed fee per month per workstation. So, for example, if your company has 50 workstations and if the managed service provider's fee is $100 per workstation per month, you're looking at 50 times $100 per month. Other managed service providers have additional fees related to the incidence count or the time spent on different incidents, and still others bill on almost a per project basis. Understanding the fee structure is the surest way to make sure that there's no surprise on either end as you embark on your relationship together. You should definitely ask whether the managed service provider plans to install an agent on your computers. An agent is an application that sits on, for example, your Windows computers and allows the managed service provider to do certain diagnostic steps remotely. This tends to be a cost savings for both parties. The managed service provider doesn't have to send someone out on site to your employee when they have an issue with their computer. They can debug it remotely and hopefully come to a resolution in a very time efficient way. So, learning a little bit about the agent that the managed service provider plans to install, knowing its capabilities, and knowing what it can't do are all things that you should talk about with the managed service provider while you're evaluating their services. Next, you really should ask about your data backup strategy. One reason that you're hiring a managed service provider is to have a very opinionated person in the mix to discuss strategic issues like backup strategy. You need to get a confident viewpoint from the managed service provider about your unique situation and what the appropriate mix of cloud or on-site or hybrid backup solutions are right for your organization. And you really need to get comfortable with that managed service provider's viewpoint if you're going to move forward with them, because this is a core element of your IT strategy. Next, you should ask the question of how often the managed service provider expects to visit your office or your facilities on site. Perhaps that's every month, perhaps that's every year, perhaps it's never. But whatever the answer is, you need to make sure that you understand this element of the way the managed service provider provides their service to make sure it meets your expectations. Lastly, and this is very important, you need to ask the managed service provider what their SLAs, or service level agreements, are like. Should you expect that when an employee files a new ticket, that the managed service provider responds within 30 minutes? Within an hour? Within a day? Whatever service level they propose, just make sure that you're comfortable with the turnaround time that they're asking you to expect when you file new tickets. This has been Phil from Havoc Shield for the 7 crucial questions for evaluating a managed service provider.